Hello, and welcome to the Turn Up the Radio podcast, where we will discuss our favorite indie and alternative bands, with new episodes every other Friday. I'm Dan.
I'm Mike. Yeah, welcome to the podcast. Our episodes will alternate between album-focused discussions like this one and segment-based content where we talk new music, stories from around the indie world, and more.
For today's episode, we're going to talk about one of our favorite bands, 21 Pilots. Starting with their debut album, we'll go song by song, sharing our thoughts as well as tiering each song.
Enjoy the show. "21 Pilots" self-titled, released in December of 2009, independently released, recorded in Tyler's home studio.
Yep. And I think, 21 Pilots is a band that needs no introduction, but most people don't really know them, members.
Before Vessel, most people, fans know them, but
Yes.
there was no commercial, they weren't signed to a label, they weren't playing on tours, they were playing Battle of the Bands small shows, around their hometown. Did you see the one their mom was giving out?
Yes, I did. At Ohio State. Yes. It was funny.
Outside of a high school, too, apparently.
Oh. Yeah, when we saw them in October, they played Slowtown from Regional at Best, and he said, I had 30 cents in my bank account when I wrote this song.
I feel like every good story has, that beginning where it's I had $7 in my pocket, and
Yes.
I lived
and I
on
feel
some dude's couch.
You can kind of hear it, too, with the way the album is and the lyrics. I don't know. I can hear that it's...
There's a certain rawness to this album that, I saw criticisms about it was too raw. It wasn't finished. It was, a lot of the instruments or, the instrumentation on the album was, from a program.
Yeah.
I assume, a GarageBand type program.
Yeah.
But I guess that would be down to mixing, is how good the final product sounds.
Yeah.
Is that it was mixed so well.
I have that in my notes. A lot of it sounds like drum tracks to me.
That's what I saw, was that they were just pre-programmed drum tracks.
Yeah.
But his piano and his uke.
Yes. And even when
hidden.
they play live, they still do that. They still have the pre-recorded tracks, but they usually just play.
Yeah, it's also
over
it's
top.
really hard to make those sounds with two people. One of them stuck on drums and the other piano, uke.
Well, you need to watch this. They did in Columbus, there's a place called the Newport Event Center. In 2010, they did a show there. I think it was their first show there. And
that was the one that blew them up? Because I saw they did one there that caught labels attention. Because that would have been right before they signed for Fuel by Ramen.
And apparently Josh Dunn was there too, which is kind of cool. He saw them. It was the 3-piece.
Do you know anything about House of Heroes? I had never heard of them or anything. That was the band that Josh was in before.
Oh.
And apparently they were pretty successful and known. But he was in that band before he joined Tyler.
Yeah.
So he was already, I don't know how big they were. I didn't look into anything other than 21 Pilots, but I assume he was pretty established in some sort of area before he met and joined Tyler.
Well, I was wondering too, Nick Thomas and Chris Sala.
Sally.
I wonder how much regret they have leaving the band, and then, obviously we don't know if they ever would have got to this point, but
they were still involved in merch and stuff. I also thought they just left, and I think one of them wanted to pursue his studies. I read a lot that it was busy schedule and just not enough time to commit to, because from what I understand, Tyler was shooting for the stars.
Yeah.
And they were more focused on their studies and starting a family, but they were still involved with merch and tour duties.
Okay.
And I can't remember which one that I read was through Blurry Face and everything was still involved.
Huh.
So, they were part of the original crew.
Yeah.
So I would imagine Tyler wanted them to still be a part of it. They probably still had some part of it. Well, they did.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's no regret there if they were still a part of it. I had differing information on how involved they were on this album. Like there definitely is some backing vocals that are them.
Yep.
Some of the songs say written by Tyler, Nick, and Chris.
Mm-hmm.
But then other places said that it was all Tyler's writing and they just maybe changed and tweaked a few things.
Yeah. I mean, in our band, someone will bring a song to the band and then we kind of make it our own. But I would still consider it that person's song, personally.
Because, like, the first song, Implicit Demand for Proof, said written and produced by Tyler.
Yeah.
But most of the other ones were written by the three and only produced by Tyler. And I think there's one or two that were written by Tyler but produced by the three. And then I did see, like, an excerpt from an interview where I think Chris was the one that said, like, Tyler did everything.
Yeah.
So, obviously, most of it is Tyler.
Yeah.
But not a lot was brought from anything before this. I read that the second verse in Fall Away was like reworked from a song on No Fun Intended.
Yeah. Yeah.
But other than that, these were all written for this album.
Yeah. That's what I had seen as well. I feel like in general, this album is very piano heavy.
Yes.
Like no uke. As time has gone on, they're so fluid. They change their instruments. I feel like this was all piano, then you start using more uke in Vessel, a ton of uke in Vessel, and now
a lot of synth in Vessel.
Yeah,
like a lot of synth.
And then the newest album, I can't really think of many songs that are like very piano driven. You know,
there's still a lot of uke. I feel like he gravitated more towards the uke.
Yeah.
As time went on. But it's the rawness of this album that I like. And like I said, a lot of the criticisms were that it was raw. But
yeah.
I think that's what makes it like special.
Me too.
The album art says a lot about like how it's I would say it's almost simplistic in like it's just black and white, and then whatever is coming out of his head,
the colors.
Well, there's deeper interpretation.
Yeah.
But
sorry, I thought you couldn't tell what color it was.
Well, I can't, but I know it's different than like the bed frame and the ceiling fan. Obviously this album has a lot of religious undertones, but it's also a lot of mental health awareness, a lot of internal struggles and demons.
It felt more like a look into his diary than any other album to me. I felt very close to him after listening to it and reading the lyrics and everything.
Well, Addict with a Pen speaks on that. It's like writing is kind of his therapy. It's such a deep dive into like his psyche and his way of thinking.
But his songs are so, I don't want to say deep, but I don't want to say hashtag deep because that makes it sound dumb, but he has a good way of saying things that I don't really know how to explain it, but
I think there's depth in his lyrics.
Yeah.
For sure. There's a lot of metaphor.
Symbolism,
a lot of metaphor. But for me is the messages like I'm not a religious man, you know that.
Yeah.
So a lot of I can understand them, but it doesn't resonate with me.
Yeah.
Everything that he says about like mental health and depression and sadness resonates a lot with me. So
yeah,
that's why I say there's a lot of depth in his lyrics because he's saying things that it's hard for me and I'm sure a lot of other people to like put into words.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good way to say it.
He even said like he wrote that in a way like he couldn't express how he felt without making it into a song or making it into a lyric, which like I said, you can clearly see that throughout the album.
Yeah,
that it's very introspective. It's very personal.
Well, and as someone who used to be religious but now is not, seeing him struggle and try to find meaning, and some of the songs just seem to me like a prayer or just like a straight up talk to God, like personally. So
I mean, we may as well talk about the first song because I got heavy religious implications from that one.
Yeah, definitely. And even the title itself is demanding proof from God, is how I interpret it.
My understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, but implicit means to have faith or to believe in something without directly, like, it's almost, he's implying. I like the title because it's like he wants proof, even though he knows he's not going to get it. He wants to believe. He wants to have faith.
Yes.
It's kind of him questioning his faith. I love this song musically. And I kind of take a little bit of like, maybe he's questioning inner belief.
Yeah.
It's about the same thing. I don't grasp onto the religious undertones, but I think musically the song speaks to me as far as like
it's a waltz. I was gonna tell you it's in 3/4. Doon 2 3 2 2 3. I like waltz like songs, you know.
I like that it definitely it has its own unique sound.
Yeah. I think it's in a different time signature than any other song on the album.
I think it's a perfect opener. I'm not saying I'm not saying it's a perfect song. I think it's a perfect opener to what the album is going to be about.
I can agree with that. I have in here, it's an interesting choice because I feel like their other opening songs on their other albums are much bigger.
Well, I mean, Ode to Sleep is...
Ode to Sleep, Heavy Dirty Soul, Mulberry Street.
Jumpsuit.
No. Jumpsuit, yeah. Good Day.
No, Mulberry Street, Good Day is...
Yeah.
And then...
Overcompensate. So...
Well, they got grand. I think there is a bit of like grandiose to this song because it starts with like the waltz.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of talking. And then by the end of the song, he's yelling, he's singing very loudly. And it's a very powerful... I do have in my notes, the highlight of the song for me is the second time where he goes into like Rain Down and Destroy Me. And I like that it builds up to like that final... I feel like I kind of saw it as like, that is his like not fall from grace, but he's let go of his faith in that part. Where like he's almost like, I wrote here, he's challenging God to like show
that's how
his
I read
proof.
it too.
And that part where after Rain Down and Destroy Me, and then he yells, it's like him letting that go. Like, okay, you're not going to do it. Like you're not going to show me proof. I like that he's kind of saying like strike me down so I know you're there.
Yes.
Kind of thing.
Yes.
Like even if I have to sacrifice myself just to believe in you.
Yeah.
I thought it was a really solid opener. I think it
sets
the tone.
I feel like, yeah, you see it in a lot of their songwriting too, where it starts like very small, and then in the middle it crescendos huge, and then it comes back down at the end back to small. Like,
it's hard to describe the part without hearing it, but it like builds up as you go. Because the intro is very like, it's a waltz. It's very kind of like happy-go-lucky. You just kind of bob your head back and forth, and I think it sets the tone really well.
I was shocked at like just looking on Genius. These songs, like word-wise, there's not that many words. Like all the lyrics fit on one sheet for most of the songs, but a lot of these songs are so long and grandiose. It's just interesting to me that word-wise, it's not like.
You must have a bigger laptop than me because I kept having to scroll up and down. But I get what you're saying, and that would be a compliment to the songwriting where he's saying a lot and a lot is getting done in shorter, fewer words.
Yeah.
That's not every song. There are some songs that he has a lot to say.
Yes.
But I mean, this one right here, I 100% agree with you. Like looking at the lyrics in front of me, he doesn't say that much.
No.
But the song feels like grand. That's why I said I think it's a great intro to the album. And when you listen to it as a complete body of work, it makes sense as the intro. And this is also, if you think about it, this is the first 21 Pilots song like ever. It might not be the first one he wrote, but it's the first one released by 21 Pilots. And I think it's a solid intro to like not only what this album is, but what their albums would become moving forward.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit underrated.
Really? This song or this album?
I mean,
well, with that being said,
absolutely underrated. But
what do you have it at?
I have it at B.
Really?
I have it at a B tier. I enjoy it, but I didn't have the heart to give it C. Just the Rain Down
Yeah.
and Destroy Me the second time he goes into that. It's so atmospheric that kind of makes it a B tier. I was teetering, but I'm at a B tier.
I also had it as a B.
Really?
Yes. I had it. It was between A and B for me.
A tier?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know I like songs in 3/4.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
So.
I think B tier is fair. Middle of the line. It didn't blow me away, but it's definitely not. It's definitely not a bad song at all. It's not one that. I don't think any of these songs are bad, but there are some that just don't get me.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
We're gonna disagree. Okay.
Well, when I first started listening to the album this week, I mean, I've loved 21 Pilots for 10 years now, but I never really got into this album simply because it wasn't on Spotify. So when I really started getting into it this week, it was like, I don't think he can make a bad song because his voice is so good to me and the lyrics are so good.
I think his songwriting, matches his voice really well. But I think his songwriting, I mean, it's one half of the band if you think about it. Like these days, it's him and Josh.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that one is better than the other, but
I might say it's like 75%.
I didn't want to disrespect Josh.
No diss to him at all. He's very important to the band.
Songwriting has always been, like, in my opinion, their staple. Yeah. Above all the sounds and the beats and like his ability, we'll get into it as we go further through the tracks, but his ability to create like imagery while I'm listening to his song, I'm picturing things. Not many artists can do that for me. So B tier.
We'll start off with the B.
We agreed on the first tier.
Yep.
I'm surprised.
I guess number 2's Fall Away.
I feel like we're not going to agree on this tier.
Maybe not. So this was probably the first song I actually had from this album on my Spotify years ago, and it actually has the most listens on Spotify, which kind of surprised me in a way.
I did not look at the listens because I automatically assumed that either Attic with a Pen or Taxi Cab had the most listens.
This was the one. I think maybe Taxi Cab was second. I can double check, but yeah.
That's funny. I do remember you liking this song. I remember you liking this song a lot. Like, at some point in our friendship.
It's the rap part is what does it for me. Honestly.
Yeah, there's something about the instrumental that just doesn't do it for me.
Really?
Yeah. That's
okay, because I have songs like that too, so that's okay.
Yeah, there's something about and I would even say like the way he sings, like the beginning, like I don't want to fall away. There's something about it that doesn't do it, and I can't quite put my finger on it.
It might be the only song in a minor key. I wonder if it's in a minor key.
You would be able to recognize that.
Yeah. I could see what you're saying because, there is another song on this album that I feel that way about.
I don't like the first verse. I don't know. I really don't like the...
Nah, nah. Yeah.
I'm dying and I'm trying, but believe me, I'm fine, but I'm lying. I'm so very far from... I don't know why that just doesn't... I can appreciate the message and like the energy he's giving to the verse, but I just don't... I do like the second verse.
Yeah, the second verse makes it for me. And that's the one that he had recycled from Drown off of his No Fun Intended album.
Mm-hmm. Which I can't hear that. I did listen to it and I can't hear that in my head right now.
Oh, really?
It, but I do like the second verse more.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, and even like, I feel like this album, it has some good raps on it, you know? I was trying to think about the newest album, Scaled and Icy. Is not the newest one.
No, Clancy.
Clancy.
You got this.
Is there like many raps on it? I feel like there's not the same way that he used to. Like almost like Eminem kind of.
I was going to say like this, the rapping he does on this is very like Blurry Face-esque.
Yeah.
Like the rapping he does in this reminds me of Lane Boy, where it's very quick, concise. Like the rhyme scheme is great,
Yeah.
and I had religious undertones
Yeah.
for this one. I didn't want to think that every song could be tied. It could be tied to religion, but not every song is, and the ones that could, I don't take that from it. But
Yeah.
the first two, like I had that, he could be referring to just falling away from his faith.
Yeah.
Or falling away from himself and his willingness to live. Because suicide is a big talking point on this album for him.
Oh,
and
yeah.
his struggle with like wanting to live for himself and wanting to live for other people. Yeah, I think his flow is good. I'm not a fan of the first verse, but I can appreciate the energy that he's bringing. The instrumental just doesn't catch me the way the rest of them do in this album.
The only part of the instrument I don't like is like the drum track. It's very like to me.
Even the piano, like nothing from the instrumental.
Really? Well, now I feel like I need to find some of the ones you like later in the album and change my... I'm afraid of what ranking you're going to give this now.
I mean, should we go to the rank?
Sure.
I did implicit demand for proof first. So you tell me your tier.
Okay. It's an S for me.
This is an S tier
This
for
is
you.
an S for me. It's fine. We'll average it out.
I had this in D, buddy.
You had this in D.
I have this song in D.
You had this in D. I didn't put a single song as D. Wow. So it's a...
I told you
It's a B then. I mean, that's the way this works.
Okay. No, I'm not going to argue with that, but...
Wow.
This is your S tier. You told me you had one.
No.
Oh, I thought you said
I have one S plus.
Oh, okay. So this is not the S plus.
This was, one of the S tiers.
Okay.
I was going to try to limit like a number, but I'm like, no. If a song's an S, it's an S, and that's just what it is. So.
I should also add that these tiers are like my personal feeling. I don't know if that has to be said, but I'm not at all like trying to speak on like the songwriting, the structure, the instrument, like just how the song makes me feel.
Yeah.
And my first line in my notes was, "This track really doesn't do it for me."
Wow.
That's the first line I had.
Mine might be my favorite rap on the album.
I'll give you that it's one of the better raps on the album as far as like flow and everything for me, but there's something about this that it just doesn't do it for me. And
so you want to fall away then, is what you're telling me.
Maybe I already have.
Yeah.
Maybe I already have. It's crazy because of how much I rave about this album to you all the time, that like there are songs we'll get into that I just not for me.
Yeah.
But it doesn't change the overall like album for me.
Yes.
When I listen to the album from start to finish, Fall Away is one of the songs that I'm just kind of getting through.
Oh.
Like I'm not even bobbing my head. I'm just like,
really?
Yeah.
It's
like, to a perfect segue. It's how do I I'm just trying to get to the pantaloon, man.
Yeah.
Because I know that it's coming and I know how excited I am for it. But
I will say my Fall Away this week for me is an S. Next week it might be an A. Like these all could change for me. But
and, there are some songs on here that weren't always the tier that I have them at. I do think Fall Away has always just never hit me, though. I don't think there was a time I really...
You're the minority. It's the most popular song on the album.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, or most listened to, I guess. But
yeah, I would not have guessed that. That's surprising. I didn't look at like the Spotify listens, and I probably should have, but yeah, I mean, I'm in the minority, and I'll accept that. The song just doesn't do it for me.
Well, it's funny, like even on the subreddit, like every 21 Pilots song is someone's favorite song by them.
Right.
So.
And that's crazy because like I don't know anybody that really like personally in my personal life. I don't really know anybody outside of Mike that likes this album like I do.
This one, no. Me either, really.
Yeah, it's just one of those ones that like, and the fact that it's not really that acknowledged by the band that made it, kind of speaks to that. Where
half of the band that made it,
sure,
so in my head, I see this as like he was young and he just like wanted to move on after.
Well, I did see a quote from him that said like he was just looking to get something out there. And that he didn't put too much stock into like the album as like a bigger, I don't want to speak for him, but he basically said like he wrote this to just try and get something out there, to try and get his name up, to try and have something to perform and say that he has an album. I don't want to go as far to say like a cash grab, but it feels too personal and too raw, emotionally speaking, to be a cash grab.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't want to say that, but it's not really acknowledged. I mean, they played Attic with a Pen, like an excerpt at on the Scaled and Icy tour.
Yep. They'll do those mashups. But even then, some of these songs, I don't know if they've ever played live.
I feel like since becoming,
even way back in the day.
Well, there's not too much.
I found some stuff on like Setlist FM.
Yeah.
But who knows? Yeah, someone that was there would have had to put it in. So.
But you could argue he probably had a listening, like a live release part. I don't know, but.
Well, the Pantaloon.
I have a lot to say about this
one. I do too. Did you notice in the beginning he's like 1, 2,
yep.
3.
I've always noticed
I noticed so many listening with the new headphones I got. Mm-hmm. I noticed so many little things in the background that he has in there, you know?
Yeah, there's one later on that like I actually really liked.
Mm-hmm.
That I didn't hear until my preparation for doing this was like listening to the song a few times over to see if I'd pick up on things, and I did. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, oh wait, it didn't change the song for me, but I appreciated it a little bit more.
Yeah.
The Pantaloon I've listened to enough times where that didn't really have to happen. I kind of just knew what I was getting myself into.
Yeah. I don't think I ever took it seriously enough until this week of listening to it. I always kind of thought it's just silly. It's a silly, upbeat, the hi-hat, like it's very upbeat.
Well,
you know,
we should talk about. I didn't look up like meanings of lyrics, like I told you. I did a little bit of looking up on certain things. I looked up like the Webster Dictionary definition of a pantaloon is not actually funny pants, which is what I've always thought a pantaloon was. It's a character that is usually a skinny old dotard who wears spectacles, slippers, and a tight-fitting combination of trousers and stockings.
I'm glad that you read that. I also have that. I have also Shakespeare used the lean and slippered pantaloon to indicate a thin, frail old man in the 6th or 7th stages of life. I think I got that from the subreddit, but
it's a silly word, so it just makes me think of like it's just a silly old like loon, just a silly old person, just kind of like at the end of their life or coming to the end of their life, who's kind of let go of the like ability to just care and is just kind of, and
now they're just stuck in their chair. Like
Tyler says a few times in this song, like lose your mind. That's kind of what's happening.
Yeah. See, and I think that one of the big theories with that is his grandfather died of dementia.
I did not know that until I was researching this.
Really?
Yeah, I never knew that. I had a feeling that that's kind of what he was referring to, but I didn't know that he had like personal experience with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that you say it's just such a happy-go-lucky song.
It's
the instrumental is happy-go-lucky.
Yes, but the lyrics are not. No, it's like Semi-Charmed Life. It's one of those songs that like is meant to sound upbeat, but the lyrics are actually really sad.
I think is perfect.
Yeah.
To like describe a pantaloon, because like they're it's a skinny old dotard. It's just a silly old person who it might seem cute on the outside that they're acting childish or foolish, but on the inside it's because they're not all there, or their mind is wearing away, or they don't care anymore. So the song is perfect that on the surface it sounds goofy and happy, but when you look a little further into the lyrics, it's not. It's actually I have implies meaning of a generational cycle. Grandfather dies, father becomes pantaloon, so on.
Yeah.
It's a generational wearing away of the mind. Not knowing that Tyler's grandfather suffered from dementia until recently, that kind of ties it all together. yeah, it just feels like a generational sadness.
Yeah.
Um,
And especially like it says because a chair now is like a tiny island in the sea of all the people. I could just picture, like old guy sitting there, like confused, like
yeah,
feels like on an island.
exactly.
So
I love the chorus. You are
yeah,
tired, you are hurt. A moth ate through your favorite shirt, and all your friends fertilize the ground you walk on. What do you take from that line? Because I have two theories, and one I want to believe, like one I want to subscribe to, and one I don't.
Yeah, I don't.
So, fertilize the ground you walk on. Your friends, when somebody dies, they're buried in the ground.
Yeah.
And when their body's decaying, it fertilizes the soil.
Yeah.
So, like
The literal.
the literal term of like your friends are dying, but they're fertilizing the ground that you're walking on. The more positive outlook would be like your friends, and this is why it hit home for me, thinking about like my friends, like fertilizing the path that you take in life.
Yeah.
Like your friends keep you on the right path. They're
Yeah.
fertilizing the ground you walk on. Doesn't go with the tone of the song being more of like generational sadness and just more of a downer in general.
Fertilize is such an interesting word to use there.
Yeah, fertilizer. I didn't think of like soil when I thought of fertilizer.
Yeah.
But I kept like thinking about it over and over, and those are the two like things that I could come across.
Mm-hmm.
And the positive one I feel like doesn't fit. Like the negative one, because in this one he's referencing the pantaloon, the older, whether it's his grandfather or his dad, where it's saying, "You're tired, you're hurt, you've been through so much in life, you're coming to your end. A moth ate through your favorite shirt, so your clothes are wearing away,
Mm-hmm.
and then all your friends are gone. They're in the ground, fertilizing the ground that you walk. Like
So lose your mind.
So lose
Just
your
let
mind.
it go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think there's so much depth to this song.
Mm-hmm.
On top of like, I love the instrumental.
Yeah.
The happy-go-lucky. It's just it like offsets. They balance each other out perfectly. I like that he kind of starts with like a softer, like happier tone. His tone doesn't really change from happy or sad, but he starts off softer.
Yeah.
I love the different like inflections in his voice in the beginning of the song.
Mm-hmm.
Where he kind of says like, your grandpa died when you were like, I love that he's like doing that.
He sounds very juvenile on this album. I
Yeah.
think well, obviously, but
his voice and the way he sings sounds juvenile.
Yeah.
But I like that the lyrics don't.
Yes, not the lyrics.
Mature,
not the lyrics. Just
but
his
I know what
voice.
You mean by
it's very high.
But the end of the song where it goes from like the softer singing and the inflections to in the end he's in full cry. He's in full voice for the last chorus, which is my favorite part of the song.
Yeah. I like the backups too in the chorus. I don't know if you heard them, but
in the final chorus or just in
I
general?
think in all of them.
I think of the final chorus with like he's in full voice, but
yeah, you are tired.
Yeah,
you
the
are
backing
hurt.
vocals.
Yeah, it's like
it sounds really, really good.
Yeah,
when he's like his own backing vocals.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to hear the first chorus in my head to hear what you're thinking of.
I think it might just be the last one.
I love the way the piano's hitting in the chorus. That's all I really hear. Very
Yeah.
Like, dun, dun, dun.
I think it is in all of them. It's just like, you are tired.
It could
you
be.
are hurt.
It's just so much more prominent in that last one.
Yeah.
You can really tell the difference between like him in full voice in the forefront with the backing vocal.
He just really gives it his all at the end there.
I think he does in this whole album, but yeah, especially in this one, he really he gives it his all, and it's a grand finish to a tragic story.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said like the kind of silly instrumental with his like upbeat singing
Mm-hmm.
offsets the lyrical depth really well. I think this is like the first in my mind like true like 21 Pilots song. It has like the kind of goofy upbeat like instrumental. It's got Tyler doing all kinds of different things with his singing. It tells a great story no matter how sad. Creates a lot of imagery. Yeah, like I just have lyrical depth, strong storytelling, fun instrumentals with Tyler in full flow.
Yeah.
I think that like 21 Pilots at their best is when Tyler's at his best.
Oh, and how he could like scream, sing so good. So well. I don't understand it at all. Like,
I mean, it's also sometimes what he's saying too.
Yeah.
He's not just yelling random things. Like he knows when in a song to let it go and when to, have a, like kind of pull back with his singing. I think he balances that so well. Do I even need to tell you what my tier is? I think you could probably guess.
I was gonna say with this one too, it again is like down here, builds itself way up and then comes back down. It's interesting. He always comes back down at the end. He doesn't end on this like grand crescendo.
Because the Lose Your Mind at the end is like in normal tone. He doesn't yell that.
Yep. Well, yeah, I'm just gonna. So what do you have it as?
It's probably like a mid C. No, it's an S tier.
I have it as S as well.
The song is an S tier.
Okay, we got our first S tier on the board. So.
And since I was late to the S plus tier party, if I were to have an S plus tier, this would probably.
So that's your number one.
Don't spoil.
Okay.
Still have more tracks to go. I mean,
the next one. This week has solidified that I think this is one of the most beautiful songs ever made.
Ever made. I'm not disagreeing. It's a high claim.
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah. Now I'm speaking like all.
I didn't mean to call you out or like put that down. I think that's honestly.
I think it's one of my favorite songs by them, and yeah, I just think it's a beautiful song.
The song is Addict with a Pen.
Yeah.
In case
Addict
someone isn't following along, but this was the first song I heard from this album because I don't know if I'd heard it before. So backstory, when I discovered 21 Pilots, this album was on Apple Music for 99 cents. And I bought it thinking like, I'm going to get into this band. Dan loves them. They're blowing up. Told you about it and you were like, I have no idea what that is, man. I don't know what you bought. And I was like, oh, okay.
It's your fault for using Apple Music.
Yeah. Well, I've learned since then. But nonetheless, it was almost like that U2 album that they just downloaded on everyone's thing. Like it was just in my library, and when it would come on, I'd like kind of bypass it because I was so into Vessel and Blurryface at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But then a song would come on that I wouldn't skip it right away. I'd be like, huh. And so after a while, I caught on to one or two. This was the first one that I like caught on to. And from kind of researching it, this is one of the more beloved ones.
Yep.
From this album, by new and old fans.
Yeah, and the band.
This
is one of the only ones that they still play. I have here they did it in a mashup in 2022. Is that when we saw them?
Yes.
So, real quick, I didn't write when this set was from. I think it was from 2012 or 2013. Here's what it was: The Pantaloon, Semi-Automatic, Forest, Screen, Ode to Sleep, Addict with a Pen, and Screen.
That's all of a set list.
Like, I would almost rather see that than see like them now.
I mean, if you're going on a tour for an album that just came out, like obviously you want to see songs from that. Scaled and Icy, Clancy.
Oh yeah. And I love that. I just like, especially Vessel.
And
I'd love to see those songs live. Some of them. Ode to Sleep.
Yeah, I've never seen Ode to Sleep live. That's why I've been so, and I'm happy that they're not doing it and that they're constantly evolving and moving forward with their music. But if they stopped and took a second to re-record this album and re-release it, which I predicted that they would do at the end of this past year because it would be 15 years.
Yeah.
To which they didn't do, obviously. But them not acknowledging this, like, I think it, and honestly, it sucks because there's so much good in this album. I would love to hear it. Maybe not even re-recorded, but just maybe remastered and re-released. Yeah. There are no, that I could find in my research, there were no physical copies released for this album. Maybe they're bootlegs. Maybe there were like a limited. I think
there were CDs.
There were CDs.
CDs, yeah. But no, I don't think any vinyls.
There's no vinyls, and there's really not a lot of like official CDs. Mm-hmm. Anybody can burn a CD or make a bootleg, but I think, especially when it charted in 2016, this album deserved a more commercial attention.
Yeah,
I think.
But I mean, I don't know. I feel as though Vessel didn't have much commercial attention either.
Yeah, but
after
it was their first one released under a major label, which already comes with some, advertisement. Also comes with distribution. Comes with attention from people familiar with that label. They also toured, opened for bigger acts, so they were exposed to like different fan bases. I absolutely love that this was released at a time where they were just playing at like random little halls, and they were handing out CDs for free and handing out tickets and stuff like that.
Me too.
As somebody who loves this album so much, like I am vying for somebody to call attention to it again, whether a re-release, remaster.
I just kind of take it that Tyler doesn't want to.
Well, they did say in a live stream a few years ago that somebody asked, like, are you gonna do anything with self-titled? And they were like, it's not out of the cards, but it's not anywhere in our future plans.
Yeah.
At this time. And again, like, I love that because they're moving forward.
Yes.
I think their albums are just as good as they've always been. Their music is just keeps evolving, on top of the music with the lore as well. So working backwards doesn't really make any sense for them right now.
Yeah.
But maybe one day.
But I mean, they did do like the Vessel 10th anniversary,
Right.
So
they do give more attention to Vessel than this.
Yeah. To me, this song reads like a prayer. Like so many religious undertones. The whole sand, water, like water being a huge point of the song. To me, this song, I could just picture it so vividly, like you were saying with the imagery.
Yeah. This
is one of those for me.
I have heavy religious undertones in my notes.
Yeah.
My first note, I think, I have that he's seemingly asking God for forgiveness, as he wishes to die and is in search of water. In parentheses, I have life.
Yeah.
We've already touched. He's already touched on his fall away from faith. So the opening line saying, "I know we haven't talked in quite some time," is just kind of perfect.
Yeah.
To, set that tone.
Yeah. I know I haven't been the best of sons.
Yeah.
Father, son, religion. I feel like he did kind of stray away from the religious imagery as time went on with his music.
Absolutely. To say why is,
yeah,
it doesn't even matter if there's a why, but 21 Pilots definitely strayed away from like the religious undertones in their songs.
Yeah. I really like when he's like, my trial was filed as a crazy suicidal head case.
Yeah. Great. I think lyrically this is one of the top songs on the album.
Yeah.
As far as like,
that's why I think it's one of the most beautiful songs ever made. I'm sticking to that. I don't care. You challenge me, I'm sticking to it.
I'm not challenging you. I wanted to hear more about it, which is why it sounded like I was challenging you.
I don't know.
But I'm not challenging you at all. This song is beautiful.
Sometimes I have to sit down and look at the lyrics to find meaning. I can't, if I'm listening into the car, I'm more like melodies and I know the lyrics, but I'm not analyzing them,
Well, you've seen that saying 1,000 times. Like when you're happy, you listen to the music. When you're sad, you listen to the lyrics, kind of thing. Despite all of the, religious undertones about falling away from faith and the some of the content being about depression and suicide. This album makes me very happy. Like musically, I'm just happy when I listen to this album.
Yeah,
so.
Me too. Yeah, in my head, it was,
I like that he touches on. I like the imagery it creates when he says, like, I try desperately to run through the sand as I hold the water in the palm of my hand.
Yeah.
Like, I'm picturing this.
Yeah.
I'm picturing somebody in the desert with just the only water they have is in their palm.
Me too.
The waves of the water mean nothing to me.
Yeah. You hear me screaming, Father. I mean, you can't really.
Yeah, the religious undertones are right there.
I think from what I was reading online, people thought, like, he's addicted to sinning. That's what he's addicted to, is sinning.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe you would know, but I mean, thoughts of suicide is pretty big sin in most religions. So his thoughts of, like, checking out early, probably, the further he strays away from his faith, further he moves toward, the idea of suicide, or just a state of depression in general.
Mm-hmm. This one too, it has like one verse and then it's the chorus, and yet it's like a long song. It's an amazing song. It's interesting to me.
Yeah, because after the first chorus, there's a pretty big, like, instrumental lead up to the verse.
Yep.
And as much as we talk about, like, his rapping, like, he like takes his time. Like, he's really wants you to, like, hear what he has to say in the verse. He's not trying to get through it. The imagery is all there, but he's not. This song isn't trying to impress you.
No.
I feel like he's really trying to say something. He really wants to be heard with what he's saying, which is I appreciate on this song.
Yeah.
It's not like Fall Away also has religious undertones, but it felt like he was trying to kind of show off his ability to rap and his ability, his rhyme scheme and his flow. But it feels like this one isn't trying to impress or isn't trying to show something off.
Yeah.
It's solely based on the narrative throughout the song.
This is another one that, like, that 2010 I was talking about, that live show they did.
Yeah.
He did this in it, and it gave me chills, man. Like,
I mean, I was so happy to hear it in 2022.
Yeah.
When he did just kind of like I can't remember if he just did the chorus.
Yeah. I can't remember either. Because
he did that segment of the show. He did a song from, like, each album leading up.
Yeah.
So Attic with a Pen just kind of got a quick.
It did.
Brush through, but it's one of the songs that they really acknowledge from that time period.
And it's one you could find, like, a good quality video on YouTube of him playing it, which is good. Yeah, I forgot until I went back and watched that. His mannerisms were so different back in the day. He kind of like... he looked kind of like a patient in a psych hospital, almost. Doesn't he? I mean, doesn't he? Like, just his mannerisms.
Yeah. It's hard to say without, like, knowing what he was thinking. I wanted to see if he was, like, the sole writer on this song. On Attic with a Pen. That's what I was looking at, and I didn't want to get caught up.
I have no. It was written by all three of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I had in my notes that this was the quote-unquote hit of the album, in my opinion.
Huh.
That's before I learned that Spotify numbers said something different. But
yeah,
I feel like this is the one that's most beloved by, like, new and old fans. And it also could be just because it was the first one I heard.
Yeah, that's true.
This feels like if this album was more commercially advertised, this would be, like, the one that people... And there's another one towards the end of the album that I feel the same about. Where it's like, it feels like the one that most of the newer fan base, like, holds on to.
Yeah. Well, I guess with that being said, I'm about to jump across the fucking table if you give this a D, I swear to God.
I have this as an A tier.
Okay, I have as an S, of course. So, are we rounding up or rounding down? Maybe down for S's, and everything else we can round up.
I humbly submit that we should make this an A tier. We don't want to water down the S's too much.
Yeah, but I mean, this is our tier, so we have to agree. I mean, we made it work with Fall Away. We just picked it right in the middle. Yeah.
It's hard. This is one of those ones I was teetering.
Yeah.
And I went down. If you were to put this as S tier, I would be okay with that.
I have it as S. I don't have that many more S's. So just to tell you, to me the album is top heavy.
Okay.
So we'll put it in A plus right now. For now.
We're just gonna make tiers based on. I'm okay with this being S tier.
Okay.
I'm alright with this being S tier.
All right, it's up there then.
Like I would have like Fall Away being so high shocked me, but this doesn't.
Yeah.
At all.
Well, okay. Over to Friend Please. So
this was one that I wasn't keen on for a while.
Yeah. This is one I actually have a theory about, so it's one of the only ones that I have my own theory. I think that he is acting like he is writing this to a friend, right? Addressing it to a friend. I think that he is actually writing it from a friend to himself.
I had that in my first note, a message directed at someone in parentheses, possibly himself.
Yes.
To not commit suicide.
Yes.
Because it is a little, the lyrics directly point to someone else, but
yeah,
with the overarching, message from the album, it's easy that this could be him just writing to himself.
Yeah.
Like,
friend, please don't take your life away from me. I think in my head, it's him thinking like, what would my friends say to me right now if they knew what I was going through?
Right.
And it's a lot easier to address it not to yourself, I
like that this one it's loving in tone with like the instrumental and like the things that he's saying.
Yeah.
But it's also like this one I appreciated that he didn't hold anything back, or there's nothing hidden in the lyrics. He's not using metaphors too much. He's not,
besides my theory, but
sure. But I feel like nothing was hidden in the lyrics. This is one of those ones where like I didn't have to think too hard about what it was about.
Yeah.
And when you're directing a message like this, that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
It's just straightforward. Don't make somebody search for the answers. Put them right in front of them.
Yeah, this one is an outlier to me. I don't know why. The subject of the song and even the tone, like, it just seemed kind of like an outlier to me personally.
I thought that I guess you would say it's a synth in the background.
Yeah.
It's almost like, it reminds me of like an alarm bell. It's like, it gives you like a worrying feeling.
Yeah.
Which I think is perfect for the tone of this song. It makes you think like
this is urgent.
It's urgent.
Yeah.
It's important that what his message and what he's saying, which I appreciated that. I don't mind the instrumental. It's not my favorite, but
yeah, I like when he's like, you lost your sway and glow, and hits the piano really hard. Like, ding. I like that.
There's some hard hitting, and I say that he wasn't really using metaphors, but the imagery is all there.
Yeah.
You say that spiders crawled inside and made themselves a home where the light once was. Yeah. There's nothing hidden in these lyrics here.
Yeah.
Friend, please remove your hands from over your eyes from me. I know you want to leave, but friend, please don't take your life away from me.
Yeah. So it was either about a friend that was struggling, or he was writing it towards him about himself.
I also love, would you let me know your plans tonight? Because I won't let you go until we both see the light.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. That bridge specifically seemed odd to me.
In what way?
Like, I don't know. Just the way it's written.
Like the way it's structured, like within the song.
Just the sound of it to me, it feels kind of odd compared to their other music.
Yeah,
can't really explain it.
I know you. It is different.
Yeah,
it does kind of throw off. Not throw off, but it's an interesting change up.
He doesn't really say things like this usually. I feel like, you know. Well, I guess with all that being said, I have this as a B.
I do too.
Okay.
I love when it works out that way.
Me too.
I feel like B tier is like the safe. Like I don't hate it, but it didn't blow me away. I can really appreciate the message of this song, but musically it doesn't grab me. It doesn't make me feel anything.
Yeah.
I think Tyler's fine here. I think the song, sort of like Attic with a Pen, I mean, isn't trying to like wow you. It's trying to tell you something. I think he wanted you to hear the words of this song more so than try and make some grandiose, track. So I think the song does good.
It's a B song.
It's a B song.
Okay, the next one, March to the Sea.
I didn't have, well, I shouldn't say I didn't have too much. I have things to say about the song. But this is one that always kind of flew under the radar for me.
Yeah. It's somewhat silly to me in a way, almost.
The instrumental's a little silly.
Yeah.
So similar to the Pantaloon, where like it has kind of like a silly, goofy instrumental.
Yeah.
But the lyrics are, again,
the lyrics, they definitely grew on me for this one. Because even the beginning, like, miles of land in front of us. Like,
but
it did grow on me, though.
Yeah, no. And this was also admittedly one of those ones that I like heard the beginning and was like, I'm not really into this.
Yeah, me too.
The Pantaloon was like that at first.
Yeah.
The Pantaloon, I like heard the beginning and was like, I was not really feeling this. But March to the Sea grew on me more than it definitely grew on me.
Yeah, me too. I really like the drums in this song.
I don't know how to describe that background. I'm gonna call it a synth again. I don't think it is, but it's like kind of wavy.
Yeah, it's hard to think about now.
Yeah, I will say the drums are a highlight for me.
Yeah,
on this one, the drum sound, they're so like clear and crisp.
Mm-hmm. And I like, this is another one that like crescendos way, Follow Me Instead, then comes back down at the very end.
And those seem to be my favorite parts of these songs.
Me too.
Is like the grand crescendo. Like that's my favorite part of this song is the Follow Me Instead.
Yeah. When he's screaming it.
What did you take from this song meaning wise?
So there were a couple different things. The one was like the spaceship is religious implications,
I have spaceship means faith ?
Yeah, so that was one. And then the other one that I had seen online was our mankind's affinity to blindly follow one another with the simple comforts of conformity. So
I had another kind of like depression, suicide, like marching to the sea, marching to your death.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Well, like Stranger's Back is all I see. He's a few feet in front of me. Like I look left and right, but then I just go back in line anyway. I want to fall out of line, but I just go back in line anyway.
That's interesting. I like that. But I'll fall in line. Yeah. No one looks up anymore because you might get a raindrop in your eye, and God forbid they see you cry. Heaven forbid.
Heaven forbid.
I clicked out of the tab and just went with God. But I was close enough. Yeah, I was getting more. Yeah, I was getting more again. Like that's what I kind of pull from these songs. I did think that the spaceship meant faith.
Yeah.
Like the spaceship, it's his faith calling him back. Because I originally thought like that's what he meant by like God or faith or something was telling him like follow me instead. Like I'll lead you away from the sea. If the sea means death or the sea means depression or sin. That the spaceship was saying follow me instead. That was kind of my original.
Yeah.
Or just happiness in general. The spaceship just could be the light, just a better path. I think that's interesting about the conformity. I didn't see that.
Yeah. Which kind of makes sense to me.
I mean, the lyrics that you read,
yeah,
it makes sense for sure.
Yeah.
Like the comfort we find in just blindly following the man in front of us.
Yeah, I don't have too much to say about this one, unfortunately. Besides that, I guess, where did you have it? Where did you have it ranked at?
C.
Really?
I had it in a C tier.
Yeah, I had a B. But I'll go C with that one. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, it's just one that never. It doesn't really do it for me.
It's hard because like I'm listening to the song and the whole time I'm like, this is a C or a D, and then at the very end he starts yelling.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, maybe this is an S. Like
this would be D if it wasn't for that part.
Yeah.
Like I love the grandiose finish to a lot of these songs. They tend to be my favorite part.
Mm-hmm. Next is Johnny Boy.
You put this song in my head today.
Yeah.
Now I'm questioning a few things. I should start by saying that I really like this song before I scare you.
Me too.
I really like this song. I feel as though he's just talking about somebody who's just down on their luck.
Yeah. I always saw it as like an American dad, like down on their luck, like just a good old Johnny Boy, like everyman.
Johnny Boy is like the everyman.
Yeah.
Like it's so common. So it's just talking about the average Joe or average Johnny Boy just down on his luck. Maybe, things aren't going great at work or home. And
yeah, like a father that's not getting the, recognition that they should get is kind of how I took it. And
I can't get over the "You're my pride and joy."
Yeah.
That's like, I could hear him sing that all day.
Mm-hmm. I really like the crowd singing at the end. I don't know if they do that in any other song that they have.
Oh yeah, I don't think that they do.
Yeah.
But it fits the tone. This is one of those ones that's like, I don't want to say it's the only one, but it's one of the only like upbeat, like inspiring songs. Uplifting is the word I'm looking for, where it doesn't really have, it doesn't really have any like, it speaks of it, but it's a more uplifting, not this is killing me, and it makes sense that he's singing it about somebody else.
Yeah,
he's not singing about himself. He very well could be, but
I don't think that he is. Spoiler, I have here in an interview with the Alternative Press, Tyler's dad confirmed that the song was about him after he lost his job, and he actually said the song always bothered him. So
I was just clicking on the Genius.
Yeah. It's interesting to me that when he's talking about his dad, he's like, get up and like get back at it. But when he's talking about himself, he's like, I'm in a downward hole of, you know what I mean?
That's
depression.
Why
like
it's so interesting that's why it's the only uplifting one, and it's one of the only ones that's not about him.
Yeah.
Like it's easy for him to say that to somebody else. And even if Friend Please is about his friend.
Yeah.
He's very much pleading to his friend, like, don't do this, but he doesn't have that same plea for himself. I mean, that resonates completely. Yeah. Genius, is that where did you read that from Genius?
I don't know.
I think it's different. As described in a 2020 interview with Tyler Joseph's father, Tyler wrote Johnny Boy to honor and encourage his father after he had just been fired from his job.
So after that, the Alternative Press asked his dad about it, and he gave his opinion. That's where I got it from.
Yeah, to discuss the general unimportance and societal disapproval that anyone can experience, especially financially, like Chris Joseph did around the Great Recession when this song was written.
Yeah.
Which the timing makes sense.
Yeah.
He would have lost his job during that and had probably been down on his luck. And Tyler wrote him an uplifting song. That apparently bothered him.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, he said it was interesting too to see it from like his son's perspective. Interesting for him.
That's fair. I mean, I feel like it's a warm kind of.
Yeah. This song makes me feel good. And
this song makes
really
me happy.
Grew on me a lot this week. I mean, just the piano. And like just the way he does these songs on the piano. Like the right hand will stay the same and the left hand, like the bass note is changing. It's just very interesting to me. Like, yeah, it's making me want to play more piano, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so, I should probably get working on that with my 3 keyboards that I don't touch.
Well, there's one right there you could touch.
I love the You're My Pride and Joy. Just the chorus in general is just so uplifting. The crowd part I knew was there, but I didn't really think about it until you brought it up.
Yeah. It makes me feel good. And even at the very end, he kind of does a piano line that kind of...
At the very end?
At the very end. That kind of ends on a happy note.
Yeah. The song starts and ends happy and uplifting.
Yep.
I like that I will carry all your names and I will carry all of your shame.
Yeah.
Like he's willing to take that burden from his dad. Again, resonates with me wonderfully.
This is one I would do anything to see him play live, and they're probably never going to. Yeah. You know?
Hey, man. I still hold out hope that they're going to do something.
Maybe
like 20 more years.
So I guess for me, this is an S. It's got to be an S for me. Even if I have a hard time saying S.
So I was stuck between A and B. Yeah. But this is the one time that I didn't go down. I went up.
Yeah.
So
you're
I had it in A tier.
Okay.
I gave you
Addict
with a pen.
Yeah. I'd almost rather have this up there than Addict.
Really?
To me, it's above Pantaloon in my head. But we'll keep it like this for now. We can always change it. And yeah, we're gonna
where do you have it now?
I have the Pantaloon and Addict as S and Johnny Boy as an A.
Okay. Yeah, I can't. It wouldn't go higher than A for me.
Yeah. And I'm gonna post this tier list on our Instagram and everything, so
okay,
everyone will be able to see that. It'll be on the YouTube as well. So.
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
A.
I'm all right with that in A tier. I can give you Addict, but I think this one. I think A tier is more than good for this song.
A tier is still a great song.
No, absolutely.
So to me, this is when the album kind of it has already peaked in my head.
Okay.
So, Misbeliever.
I do not subscribe to that.
Okay, that's fine.
So I'm excited for the conversations we're about to have. I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But I do not subscribe to that one. I love this song.
Really?
I love this song. But give me a chance.
Okay, I will.
I told you I thought I was fair with my tiers.
Yeah.
But as far I just love this song. I love that it's the imagery this one makes is unmatched.
I said perfect song for snow. That's what I put.
Well, he only says it about 70 times.
I know.
Song. But also like the jingle bells. I don't know what
I have that as well. The sleigh bells.
Yeah, like and it feels like you're walking through the snow with a loved one, like somebody you love.
His voice really, I think the tone like he chose for his voice caters to that as well.
And it's great that like Johnny Boy and then Oh Misbeliever both make me feel happy, like uplifted. I have in mind as one of my personal favorites. I've always loved this song since I first heard it.
I mean, and this doesn't take, Einstein to figure this out. Copernicus, I don't know, but I will tell you that I love you, but the muffs on your ears will cater your fears. I mean, you could tell someone anything you want, but if
it's an ode to somebody who doesn't see their own beauty,
yes,
like he does,
yes,
and
we've all dealt with that with people,
but it's so easy to say, I wish you would listen to me when I tell you how beautiful you are.
Yeah.
Not the muffs on your ears will cater your fears. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, that's true.
That's where, like, when I say, like, his songwriting is,
now,
like, unmatched, is, this song is, like, the perfect example.
See, now this one, there were some people that thought it was about a woman, and then there was another theory that I kind of subscribed to that it's a play on words. Did you think about that?
Oh, like misbeliever.
Misbeliever.
Yeah.
Like it's not as bad for me with like Flo Rida when I realized it was Florida or Will.i.am for William, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that clicked for me this week, and I was like, huh. Like, did you think of that before?
I have thought of that before. It
Really?
didn't change my mind on how I felt this song.
You think it's about a woman?
Yes. Or
Okay.
just, I'll say somebody in general that he's trying to, misbeliever.
Yeah.
So it's most likely about a woman, but just in general, somebody who doesn't see their beauty the way Tyler does, or doesn't view them. He wishes that they would view themselves as, please take my hand. We're in foreign land.
Yeah.
You
think it's about his mom or like a love interest?
Could be his mom.
Yeah, because I know
Johnny
like
Boy followed by Oh Misbeliever, dad
Yeah.
and mom.
Yep.
That could be interesting.
like House of Gold obviously is about his mom. So
Yeah, I love your shaking shoulders prove that it's colder inside your head than the winter of dead. Winter being like things die in the winter.
mm-hmm.
It's naturally like seasonal depression. People get sad during the winter.
Look how little lyrics there are in this song.
Yeah, this one actually almost fits on my laptop screen. I love the way he sings the chorus. He kind of holds on to that colder as we grow older.
Yeah. I like when he's like, we will walk. That's the only one he goes down.
I think it's beautifully crafted. I don't have too much because the Johnny Boy and this one there's not too much lyrical depth. It's the imagery,
yeah,
and the way he sings it is what captures me.
I guess
I like and the chorus being like, as we get older, we feel less and less about ourselves. Like we don't feel as good about ourselves, so we get colder as we get older.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's only you don't see yourself as I see you now, and it's only going to get worse.
See, I took that as like gruff, almost like you get colder, like more less emotional.
Oh, I see.
Colder,
emotionally. Okay. Yeah, no, I could see that as well. I just the imagery in this song, and I do like I think Ode is a good it's like to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all that being said, I have this in B tier.
Okay, I had it as a C.
Okay.
So I'm fine with B.
We can go. What do we have in B tier right now?
Implicit, Fall Away, and Friend Please. We only have March to the Sea in C.
I like this more than March to the Sea.
I like March to the Sea more.
So you're saying it should be D tier?
No. We were C and B, so it's going to be one of those two.
That's a tough one for me.
We'll put it in B for now, because I have a feeling you're going to get some more that you don't love from me. So
well, let's move on. Air Catcher.
Air Catcher.
I think this is a super underrated song.
Oh, gosh. I wrote, I don't really like the auto-tune personally, but I did write Blame It on the Times. Blame it on the times.
Yeah.
I don't like the I don't
have too much about how he sings it.
Yeah.
I like what the song refers to.
Yeah.
That he's trying to withhold himself from falling for somebody. So he's referring to parachute or air catcher.
Mm-hmm.
I had air catcher is metaphorically referring to a parachute.
Yeah.
The parachute is to stop him from falling for somebody who either has hurt him or will hurt him.
Yeah.
Whether a romantic partner or what have you, but you've stolen my air catcher, so like he couldn't help but fall.
Yeah.
And he's only anticipating getting hurt. If your parachute breaks or somebody takes your parachute, you fall and you get hurt. So I like what the song is about. I love how atmospheric this one sounds.
Yeah.
Especially, I guess you would call it the drop when everything kind of comes in. And I think it also ties with like when he says, I don't fall slow like I used to, I fall straight down.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning like he's in a vulnerable spot, so he's quicker to fall for somebody than he used to be.
I like the outro as well with all three of them singing.
Yeah. This is one of those ones where like you could tell somebody else was doing the backing vocals.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you like
100%.
And I always like without looking at the credits just assume like as somebody uncredited or whatever, but you can tell that they had a piece in that.
Yeah.
I think you would beat the moon in a pretty contest is an interesting line for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I like that you stole my air catcher and I don't know if I want it back. Like he's starting to kind of succumb to like he wants to get hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. Once you're used to the chaos, you kind of want to stay in it.
Because I'm not sure I want to give you the tools that can destroy my heart. I really like what he's talking about here. And I think it's mixed with like the atmospheric like instrumental.
Mm-hmm. But at the end, he does give the tools.
Right. Because again, I think it ties into like the beginning where he's in a vulnerable spot.
Mm-hmm.
And, he's looking for a way out. Some people in a vulnerable spot, they cling on to somebody. Makes them feel a little more whole.
Yeah.
So not only does it go with the vulnerability. Yeah, haven't we? Not only does it go with the vulnerability that we've seen on the album, but I like that it's a little bit different. He's singing. It's not. I think this one he's definitely singing about somebody.
Yeah.
And make the interpretation.
Yeah. I think so too.
Like friend, please. It might be himself. Like this is one again, similar with Misbeliever, where he's talking about like most likely a romantic partner.
Yes.
Which isn't like a common theme.
No, not for him.
Not for him. Right. Like if he does write a love song, especially these days, it's very obvious.
I wrote, that's funny you said that. I wrote, only song that I don't love the backups on. But I saw online, this is the first song they ever performed in a concert setting. Tyler mentioned it's the first song he ever performed in a concert setting. So
I'd said that earlier. That was my note for this song as well.
Oh, gotcha. You did it in the intro.
No. Yeah, whatever.
Well, I have this as a B/C.
I have it as a B.
Okay. So I'm fine putting that in B.
Yeah. I'm all right with the B tiers that we have so far. Pending a Misbeliever.
Yeah.
You decide to knock that down.
Trap Door is the next one.
I admittedly don't have much to say about this song.
Yeah. See, I didn't realize they're talking about like a public hanging.
Oh, the trap door that they...
Yes, underneath that falls through. Yeah.
Ooh.
What, everyone gather around for a show, watch as he disappears, as we know.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I just had it could refer to the trap that is life. I didn't really get too in deep.
Marriage is a trap.
My first note is another track that doesn't do it for me musically.
Oh no.
Oh my god. Would you have this as S tier?
No, I don't really like the track that is running in the back. It's like wah, 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 almost like that.
The instrumental doesn't get me at all. Again, another one I could.
Well, I have here. I didn't know he was saying blatant. I thought he was saying bleeding trapdoor.
It sounds like bleeding.
He's like blatant.
I read the lyrics for this song and still thought he was saying bleeding when I was listening.
Really? Okay, good. That makes me feel better.
I could not hear bleeding.
Yes. It doesn't make sense, but okay, with that being said,
before we
go
to the tier, there's a couple parts of the song that I do appreciate the way he sings it.
Yeah.
I like the pre-chorus, he pretends he's okay, but you should see him lay in bed at night. He's petrified.
Yeah.
I like the way he sings that.
I really like...
And I do like the chorus, too.
Me too.
I like the beginning of the chorus.
Me too. I was going to say...
Everyone gather around.
Well, I like when he's like finish this waste of life, he like walks down the piano like do 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 do, kind of like that.
Yeah, this song has a couple of saving graces.
Yeah,
but it's similar to Fall Away in that I know what's coming next, and I'm just trying to get through it.
Yeah, I'm sure the last chorus when he screams it, I'm sure you like.
Yeah, and I have that in there as well. He seems to feel shame and embarrassment and throws on a mask to alter his face. He asks that no one pays attention as he takes his own life to spare any further shame to himself. That's what I had before you told me about the show being like a public hanging, which makes perfect sense. Yeah, I didn't pick that up. I didn't think of that as like
I think it's door. That's the literal meaning, you know?
Is that literally what that's called?
Yeah. A trap door?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I did not know that.
Like a secret door?
I thought trap door of like
ejecting out of an airplane?
No, not just like a James Bondian, like there's a door that says something and you can it's actually a trap. Like I thought of a trap.
Oh, no. It's more like Dr. Evil or like, what was that? You are the weakest link. Goodbye. And they get sent down that trap door.
Yes. That makes much more sense. Doesn't change how I feel about the song, but makes it a little more clear as to what he's trying to convey. Again, imagery is in top tier, if that is indeed what he's talking about.
Yeah.
I have this in D tier.
Really?
I do.
I have it as a B. I'm fine with the C for that.
Okay. Yeah, that's one that just doesn't do it for me.
And it really would be like a D, if not like a couple places that save it for me.
Yeah, I had to be like those things I like about the song, but they don't save it. None, like so to say.
That's okay.
A car, a torch, a death.
Yeah.
I have a lot to say about this one. I can already see.
I figured you would. Well, to be honest with you, a week ago is the first time I ever listened to this song. I think I skipped it every single time.
I have failed you. Truly. I listen to this song all the time.
I think the beginning, it's a little bit too front bottomsy, which I don't know if you know what that means, but no, I don't know.
I'm not sure I understand.
It's very different to me. He's like, then I remembered how you packed my car.
I like that his voice is like faded.
It's almost like Neutral Milk to me. It's almost a little bit out of tune in the beginning.
And so comparing it to Neutral Milk still doesn't do it for you?
Oh, I never said that.
Oh, okay.
I never said that. It's just that was the reason why I always skipped it, was because the beginning of the song. Like, it's a slow starting, you know? Yes.
And I love I love the imagery again that this song creates. I love the way he's singing it. I love that in the first verse his voice is like fade. Like, I don't want to say faded. I don't know how to describe. It sounds like he's far away.
Yeah.
And then in the second verse, or I guess it would be the third verse where he says the demon sat there waiting on her porch. He's like crystal clear. It really like pulls you into the song.
Mm-hmm.
And then the way he says he crept in her room and stayed there for the night. He like yells that, and it goes right into.
And then I felt
chills in her bones. Yeah.
Yeah. That bridge to me is like really makes it.
That's heavenly to me.
Yeah.
That's like, I love the transition into that bridge and the way he sings the bridge.
Mm-hmm. And the bridge really crescendos too.
I take this as a breakup song.
Really?
Yes.
To me, it's such a religious. I know I keep saying it, but
no, I mean, there's a lot of religious undertones, and like I said, I didn't pull a lot of that. I kind of pulled some of my own meanings. Some of the lyrics kind of throw me off of that notion that it's a breakup song, but I've always taken it as a breakup song. I had that his imagery is at its best here, sharing that he's leaving a relationship after his partner's demons became too much to handle, possibly leading them towards suicide. He has to carry those burdens, now understanding why God died. So going through the lyrics, like he literally says demon, and I think that is like, they're demons.
Yeah.
The demon sat there the demon sat there waiting on her porch. It was a little dark, so he held a makeshift torch. It's mainly the bridge. And then I saw him, torch in hand. He laid it out what he had planned. Kind of saying like the demons have gotten to her, and they're planning that maybe she's gonna commit suicide or break up, or she's already broken up. But then he says, and then I said, I'll take the grave, just send them on my way. Like, I'll take those burdens and I'll take the demons.
Huh.
I might be
no
clasping it's like I might be way out there.
I mean, genius is people's interpretations, and this is yours. Like,
yeah, I didn't even look at the genius.
They're not really ones to come out and be like, this is what the song is about. Like,
I just tried to not like, because he said the word God.
Yeah.
Just go, yep, it's religious. Like then I felt chills in my bones. The breath I saw was not my own. It's him realizing like those demons have gotten to this person, her.
Yeah.
And I knew the skin that wrapped my frame wasn't made to play this game. Like, I'm not built to save her. I'm not built to save her from those demons. And then I saw him, torch in hand. He laid it out what he had planned. So he sees that the demons are taking over, that they're going to destroy the relationship or possibly destroy her. So he's saying, I'll take the grave, send them on my way. I'll take your burdens. And then he's saying, I know why God died. Understanding that God is all-knowing. He forgives. He carries all of our burdens for us. So him carrying that burden, now he understands why God died.
I like that interpretation.
And then my
That's
favorite part,
to me.
other than the intro to into the bridge, I like when he said, "But for now, you told me to hold this jar, and when I looked inside, I saw it held your heart." So because he did those things, he'll always have like a piece of her. He'll always have her heart because he did that for me to walk away with. Breakup song.
Yeah,
that's where I went with it. So, and also just musically, I love this song. I think I love the goofy, like the, I don't know if it's a whistle.
I just was gonna say I don't love the whistle. I wrote I don't love the whistling whoo whoo woo woo. It's like whee, whee.
Yeah, it's like
yeah. I don't love that.
I don't know why I love it so much. Honestly, it's strange.
I wrote this song really grew on me. This one at the start of the week was like a D.
This is one of the first ones that I really loved.
Yeah.
Like, unbelievably, was like head over heels. I couldn't stop listening to it. I still listen to it sometimes. It's a great, like, driving at night song, which is my favorite time to drive and listen to music. So,
and drink.
Yeah, but then I remember when you packed my car, you reached in the back and buckled up your heart for me to drive away with. Like, it just all kind of ties together. That's the interpretation I took. I find I'm not even gonna. It's an S tier for me.
I have A. I had it as an A.
I think that's fair. It's an S tier for me, but I'm not mad about A. If you want to put it in A.
Well, I think S is fine. I think this is an S tier song. I personally just don't think of it as an S tier. I think objectively it's an S tier song in my head. But okay. To me, it's only an A.
I think, like, I felt something similar about Fall Away.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying on that one. It's an S tier subjectively and objectively for me. It's right at the top.
Okay.
Like, so far, that and the Pantaloon are untouchable 10 out of 10s for me.
Yeah.
On this album.
To me, it's Addict, Pantaloon, Johnny Boy.
And it's weird because, like, Addict, that's how I really feel. Like, I had Addict at A, but objectively it's an S tier.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, putting it as an S tier makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it is. It's one of the best songs on the album. Like, written, the instrumental and everything. And So I completely understand what you mean by like objectively it's an S tier.
Yeah, I just don't think of it that way. And next week it might be an S tier. If I'm in a certain mood, it might be, you know.
I mean, we're coming towards the close, but one of these last 3 songs is like similar. I have a similar feeling about one of those.
Well, I guess we can get into Taxi Cab.
Yeah, this is another one that was like similar to like Addict with a Pen. Was very like beloved. I felt like like everybody loves Taxi Cab.
I think so too. This one to me, I think he sounds the most mature. Like his voice sounds like deeper. Like
I think
not lyrically, just the way his voice is. I think he sounds more mature than any other song.
I think this is the one that he worked the hardest on.
Yeah,
on the whole album. It does sound. This one sounds like I always thought it was on Regional at Best, like in that era. Like before I really like obviously I knew it was on this album, but like I always associated it with like Regional at Best because it sounded like a more evolved Tyler.
Yes.
Like lyrically and instrumentally.
This might have been the last one he did on the album or something.
Yeah, maybe know? So. But
and I have here Tyler Joseph revealed that the famous third verse is one of his greatest accomplishments.
I'm reading that on I'm reading that on Genius right now. And I did not see that. But I can see
I didn't see it during the Bandito tour.
You weren't paying attention.
Maybe not.
Wasn't Taxi Cab on the Scaled and Icy set list and they didn't play it?
I don't know.
I feel like I remember seeing that.
You would have noticed it more than me.
But I do remember they played everything on that set list in order. So maybe not. I don't think they skipped anything. Because they did a Forest excerpt.
Yes, which I adore. I adore. Yeah, that third verse, it's a lot.
It's a lot to unpack, the bridge here. I had a lot of trouble not looking up like meanings because it's so hard to like figure out what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
I'm scrolling too because I can't even remember. I mean, what I have in my note was that it's him like being saved from committing suicide. Like he's on the precipice, and you know, it's all metaphorically speaking, but he's being pulled from that precipice by you know, probably his faith.
Mm-hmm.
Now this time there were 3 men. It would be the Father, Son, the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
I do know that much about religion.
The Holy Trinity, if you will.
That's the extent of my religious knowledge. Knowing that those things are something.
Yeah, the one turn around to say we're driving towards the morning sun. Oh, we're driving towards the morning sun, comma, S-O-N. I thought it was morning sun, S-U-N.
Huh. Yeah, I skimmed right over that. But that would make sense if we were talking about Father and Son. Where all your blood is washed away and all you did will be undone, so cleansing you of your sin.
Yeah.
You know. And
that's mainly what I had seen online.
I was struck with we had to steal him from his fate so he could see another day. So like his fate, Tyler's fate is, you know, no matter what I do, I'm going to end my life. And they're saving him from that fate so he could see another day.
Yeah.
I scrolled down and a comment was saying that the taxi cab is an ambulance. And he's being saved from a suicide attempt.
Huh.
The comments on this one are snapping. I'm reading them, and there's a lot to say about this song.
Yeah. This is a hard one for me.
It's
the third verse fucking slaps though.
I could see why it's one of his greatest accomplishments.
Yeah.
Because it goes. His flow, his lyrics, everything is really great about it.
Mm-hmm.
Most of these comments are just people arguing with each other about subjective material.
Well,
but which I love. I love that people are kind of. I think the Plane Taxi Cab was talking about the barn Jesus was born in. I'm not sure about that one. You'd probably know a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a tough one. Musically, incredible.
Yeah.
I think the song from beginning to end is incredible.
It actually kind of reminds me, the beginning especially, it doesn't remind me of a 21 Pilots song.
See, I think the beginning is very 21 Pilots.
Really?
Like this to me is like a quintessential 21 Pilots song.
Yeah.
Like it feels very 21 Pilots-y. I love the way he sings the first verse.
Yeah.
I love what he says too. I want to fall inside your ghost and fill up every hole inside my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we will die. Sometimes we will fly away. Either way, you're by my side until my dying days.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it seems no one can agree on what this song's about.
Yeah, this has to be one of the most
divisive ones. I guess with that being said, where do you have it at?
I have this one in A tier.
Really? I have a B. I have it as B.
Yeah, I think this was the opposite from what I said. I said all of this was going to be subjective in how I feel, but I think I objectively put this in A.
Really?
I think I felt like it deserved an A tier.
Yeah.
I think maybe I feel like it's not one of my...
Is it because it's better produced than the other ones on this album?
Maybe. Like you said, it feels more mature.
Yeah.
I think I objectively placed it in the A tier. I don't want to say out of respect, but
yeah.
I think partly because it's such an important...
I kind of did that with B. Honestly, like...
You're saying it was C and you put it in B?
Yeah.
So you had this going towards C.
Yeah.
Huh. I think, like I said, no matter what the song means, I think musically it just sounds so good.
Yeah.
And of course it has my favorite thing at the end, don't be afraid, and he's just he really holds that note. You can tell that like he really holds that one.
Yeah. Yeah, he does.
I love the piano.
Me too. I have that as my first note.
Yeah, I have this in A tier.
Can we agree on B?
I can agree on B.
Okay. We only have one in A tier, so.
What is our A tier? Remind me. You have it in front
Johnny
of you.
Boy.
Okay. Yeah, Johnson Boy is good.
Get Up.
Yeah, Get Up.
Okay, the next one before you start your day. This is one I don't have that much to say about personally.
I also don't have that much to say, mainly because it's just a nice little. I think this album needed like a slow, soft.
It's like the truce of this album,
right? To
me,
I thought about Truce when I was kind of going through this.
Yeah,
I think the album was begging for like a slowdown.
Yeah,
it's a little late in the album. I don't think it messes up the pacing or anything.
It kind of is surprising to me that it's that late. Yeah, this is just to me, this is the weakest one. I do like it. I think it's pretty. The piano is pretty, but yeah, nothing in this song does it for me personally.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is not a guilty pleasure, but I just love. I like the beginning. I like the way he says, like, open the slits in your face and start your day. You don't have much time to make your slits look just right.
Mm-hmm.
And it just screams like a song about insecurity.
Yeah.
Look in the mirror and ask your soul if you're all right. It's all like I like what he's saying there. I like the la da la. I like how he kind of builds that through. I don't know if you'd call that the chorus or what. I don't like the bridge. That kind of messes the song up for me.
Me either.
I really like the ending too. I think this album was just asking for like a bit of like slowing down the pace a little bit. And I think he does it well. I think he sings it well. It's just him and the piano.
Yeah. This is a love song to me also.
Yeah, I didn't want to call it a like a ballad.
Yeah.
But that's what the album was asking for, I think, was like a ballad. Yeah, I have this in B tier, but I'm open to interpretation.
Yeah. I had it at like C- just because I couldn't bring myself to put anything of theirs as a D. To me, it's realistically a D.
I put their second song on the album in a D.
Yeah,
and
I know.
I was trying to, I didn't want to water down the S's.
Yeah.
A couple of these could have been A and S.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say a lot of these could have been A.
Yes. All the B's could have been A's.
Right.
So maybe a C?
I'm okay with this being C.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Okay. On to the last track, Isle of the Flightless Birds.
The Flightless Birds?
No.
The Flightless Birds. I must have reviewed the wrong song.
It's the specific birds he's talking about. So, man, that album cover is really pretty, isn't it? Didn't you have a tapestry of that or something?
I wish.
Am I wrong?
You're wrong, but I wish. If somebody did, let me know so I can steal it or ask them where they got it. Because, that's something I would have hanging like somewhere. Very big and bold. I'm going to let you go first on this one.
Oh, I actually just realized something. The last song before you start your day, I think, it ends with la da, and this song starts with la da da da. See that?
Oh yeah, I never put that together actually.
Me either.
They're so
until
different.
I just saw it.
They're so different. And
one is la
one is
da,
slowing
and
down.
this one is la da na na.
Yeah.
Na, 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 na.
But not only that, but the tone is like one is slowing down after like a slow ballad, for lack of a better description. But yeah, I never put that together.
Yeah. I really like this song. I think it reminds me of like a Halloween song, to be honest with you. It kind of...
It's like that. I don't know what that...
like, it just reminds me of Halloween. It's some kind of synth or something, you know?
Well, yeah, like, it does have like a Halloween-y type.
Yeah.
I don't, like, not haunted house, but...
Kind of.
Yeah, so
it kind of is like a walking Halloween song to me.
Again, it's the imagery. It's...
Yeah.
I love this song.
Yeah.
I will tell you for a long time, maybe not a long time, but for a good amount of time, this was my all-time favorite 21 Pilots song.
Wow.
I don't know if I feel that way anymore, but I will still put it in my top 3.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of a song from a musical or something, to be honest with you.
I can hear you on the Halloween-y type, but I'm not seeing musical.
Yeah.
This is, like, again, one of those ones that I heard the beginning and was like, eh.
Yeah.
And then once I heard it once or twice, I was like, wait a second. I can't get over the synth during the chorus.
Mm-hmm.
The way he sings the chorus. I am cold, can you hear? I will fly with no hope and no fear. And the ground taunts my wings, plummet as I sing. I read that as suicide for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm gonna give it my all. I'm gonna try my best. No hope, but also no fear. I'm flying above the ground, but the ground's taunting my wings, telling me to come down, to give up, to kill myself, and plummet as I sing. Like, I'm gonna go down, but I'm gonna go down.
Yeah,
singing.
That's how I interpreted that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you have an interpretation into this. I don't understand to this day. I actually still don't understand the title. Like, is the Isle of Flightless Birds like us, like people?
Yeah.
Or is it like a band? Like, is it a certain people that like?
I think
reading this, I just kind of glanced at the meaning, and it's saying like basically a metaphor to describe
Christian.
Well, it's saying like people, like, there are birds with beautiful wings that are flightless. They don't use them. They're flightless.
Yeah.
So they have these beautiful wings that they don't use. So it's
in my head, like, an isle is like an island.
Yes.
So the flightless birds can't leave. you know?
Well, they have beautiful wings, but they choose not to use them. Whether that's true, there are like flightless birds
Yeah.
don't fly, but they have these beautiful wings that they don't use, and it's like unrealized potential in humans or in people that I'm kind of getting from this topic here, which I think still kind of goes with my analysis of it.
Yeah.
Like unused potential could lead to depression, which could lead to suicide. I absolutely can't get over the last verse. I love when he says, "And I promise you this is mine," and he says, "I promise you." Like he like reiterates it.
I had here. It feels optimistic at the end.
Yes.
Actually. And
yes.
It's like talking about the soul, like, yeah.
It's time you pick your battle, and I promise you this is mine. Like he's saying, like, your soul knows good and evil, your soul knows both sides. Like he's finally standing. It feels like the journey that we've been on with this album, he's finally being like, I want to live. Like I can't, that goddamn synth, man. I can't get over, and it like fades out like in between the chorus and the last verse where he's kind of like I am cold. It's like dude,
yeah,
chills every time. I love like the way the song sounds, the message that it's giving.
Yep.
He even says it in the second verse, and honestly we're probably more suicidal than ever now. It's hard to keep up with what he says. I had to look his lyrics up because
yeah.
Believe me, you'll begin to wish you were sleeping. Your weeping will creep in your head and you'll cry. But if we wake up every morning and decide what we believe, we can take apart our very heart and the light will set us free. Could be talking about faith, could just be realizing potential in general.
Yeah. The last verse is like, it reminds me of Vessel, to be honest with you.
The last verse is euphoric.
Yeah.
And I'll go ahead and I'll give you one back from like the end of that chorus. I want to say the whole song, but this part does it for me. From the end of like the last chorus all the way to the end of the song through the third verse is one of the most beautiful pieces of music I've ever heard. As dramatic as it sounds, like it gets me every time. That's why this was one of my favorite 21 Pilots songs.
And the piano at the end is so beautiful.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a perfect. As much as I said, Implicit Demand for Proof was a perfect intro. Maybe not a perfect song. I think this is a perfect outro.
Yeah.
It really ties the narrative into a bow. It's uplifting. Tyler saying, like, I'm going to pick my battle. Like, and we obviously have seen him, how he grew from here. But, yeah, I don't have enough good things to say about this song.
Well, I think I know where it lands for you.
What's crazy is going into reviewing this, I was thinking A tier.
Really?
Until I reviewed it, and then I remembered why.
This is the longest song they have. 5 minutes and 46 seconds. Their longest song
on this album.
I think. Period.
The Paladin Straight is like 6 minutes.
Oh, you're right. I don't know when that must have been made. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you cut out the dead space in Paladin Straight, though,
sure,
I mean, come on.
Sure.
Come on.
That's crazy too, because this song doesn't feel that long.
No, but like it is like the beginning adds like a ton of time too.
This has a more structured like intro, verse, chorus, verse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's a little bit more structured. It doesn't feel. It really doesn't feel that long. I feel maybe it's because I'm so into it that I'm not paying attention to the length and I'm just kind of going with it. But yeah, and when I said earlier, like I had a song that like was one place and now it's another. Like it went from S to A, and it's S. Like for me, I'm open to. Well,
I had it as B actually.
You're a slut.
I had it as
the disrespect is insane.
Why?
The disrespect is insane. No.
What? The disrespect for Fall Away you're talking about?
Yeah.
A D?
That's actually what I meant. It's a D tier song, man. I'm cool with this being an A. If
Okay.
You are.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, we got the Pantaloon, Addict with a Pen, a car, a court, a torch, a death, an S. A is Johnny Boy, Iowa, Flightless Birds. B is Implicit Demand for Proof, Fall Away, Friend Please, Oh Misbeliever, Air Catcher, Taxi Cab. And C is March to the Sea, Trapdoor, Before You Start Your Day. Which really could be in D too, but I can't put a song in there as in D. Like,
I mean, dude, we can come back to these things.
yeah, that's true.
Okay, so let's go through a little bit slower because I couldn't keep up with you.
Okay.
Tell me about the S tier.
The Pantaloon, Addict with a Pen, a car, a torch, a death.
I'm alright with that.
Okay.
A tier.
Johnny Boy, Iowa, Flightless Birds.
I'm okay with that.
B, Implicit Demand for Proof, Fall Away. That's a little bit lower than it should be, but Friend Please, Oh Misbeliever, Air Catcher, Taxi Cab.
I feel like Taxi Cab.
It doesn't even seem like a 21 Pilots song to me. I don't know why.
I feel like it's so 21 Pilots.
Yeah. I think it's the piano. And maybe it reminds me of someone else or something, and that's why, but...
I don't think his piano in that song sounds like his piano.
Yeah.
It sounds like an actual, like, just grand piano.
Yeah.
Because I did read somewhere that they built him his piano.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was Chris or somebody else, but, like, his piano has a very specific sound.
Yeah.
That one doesn't strike me as, like, that same sound, and maybe that's what's throwing
me
you
either.
off.
Maybe.
To me, it sounds very 21 Pilots.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can budge on Fall Away. It's really
I'm
just
fine.
not one of the.
It is where it is now. It's okay.
Yeah, no, I'm saying I'm.
Yeah.
That's why I want to go back through because I just want to see like, with everything tiered together.
Yeah.
Like if you put one song next to another, you go, do you really think those are on the same level?
Yeah.
And I know you disagree with Fall Away. I think B is fine.
Yeah. C, like Air Catcher, that could be a C for me.
I was going to say Implicit Demand for Proof didn't sound right in the B. I was going to put C.
Really?
Yeah, like I kind of, like again, weighing it up with the other songs there.
Yeah. I can agree with that.
But then, do I like Implicit Demand for Proof more than Air Catcher? Probably.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why I want to go back through. Should they both be in C?
I think so. Like, Oh Misbeliever, I can say, okay, that can be in B.
I won't budge on that one.
Yeah, even though I don't really.
We'll stop. We'll shut off right now and I'll go home.
I think Air Catcher can be a C.
Okay, but Implicit Demand for Proof B.
Is B, yeah.
Okay, I'm alright with that.
So C is March to the Sea. And knew it was going to be there. Trapdoor, Before You Start Your Day, Air Catcher.
I think I'm alright with that. I just don't like. Trapdoor has some redeeming qualities.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one that I'm waiting for a car torch of death.
Yeah.
I know it's coming up. But even by itself, like if it shuffles on, I'll skip it.
Me too.
That and Fall Away I skip.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, I think about that. I'm like, if those come on, do I just skip them on their own? Yes.
Yeah.
D tier. I would never put any of these songs in F tier. I don't know if I ever will put any 21 Pilots songs in F tier.
Oh, the tier list template I made only goes down to D anyway. So,
well, I guess that works out.
Okay.
Yeah, in my mind, I was going off of an F tier.
Yeah,
so
I guess I should
D
have
wasn't
too.
like a damning, like the worst song ever.
I
was in my mind
see.
Thinking about an F tier.
I see.
Which it doesn't change my tiers, like
No.
where they are currently, but
Yeah, I guess I should have went down to F.
the ones that I'm familiar with were S, A, B, C, D, F. The ones that I've seen.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of tiers, but I think for an album that's plenty. It
Yeah.
gives you room to interpret S plus and A plus, C minus. You're that guy that does like 6.5 out of 10.
Yeah, because it kind of like a C minus and a C plus are very different to me.
Both C.
They both are C, yeah. But like if I'm C and you're S, if I'm C minus, it might be a B. If I'm C plus, it might be an A. You see?
Sure. What do we have in the D? Anything?
Nothing now.
I think I'm alright with that.
Yeah, me too. If anything, it would be before you start your day. But it's not like bad. It's just not great.
I do, when you said it and I really thought about it, I do agree that it's in an awkward place in the album.
Yeah.
It's one from the last.
It shouldn't be there.
And it like...
But isn't Truce? Isn't that where Truce is?
Truce is last, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, I think it is.
I think Truce is
last. No, Guns for Hands is, right?
I'm going to look.
We failed.
We're not even real fans.
No. We don't even have the 10th anniversary edition.
I should probably type in track list. I mean, as a whole, to get this conversation rolling.
Yeah.
Tell me front to back what you think of this album.
I think it was a great starting place, and I think you could really look into Tyler's soul on this one. I love it. To me, it's an A album overall.
Yeah. I jokingly said to you the other day, by the way, Truce is the last song.
Okay.
Which is funny because Trees is their outro to most, the popular tours, or most of the tours in general. But yeah, Truce is the last one, which I think is, we'll get to it, but I think it's fitting.
Yeah.
Because that album is on fire from start to finish. That being said, yes, I jokingly said to you last time I was here, self-titled S tier. I had it in A tier the whole time.
Yeah, I think it's an A tier album.
For a while, and we'll get into it, but for a while it was my favorite 21 Pilots album over Vessel.
I know you always said that. I thought it was just, I don't know.
I'm in the minority there.
Yeah.
I know that. But I got a lyrical depth and like a message from this album that I just didn't get from their other ones.
Well, I could see that. I guess even Vessel.
And there was something like, not exciting, but it was kind of cool being in the minority.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that affects that played any part in my reason for it being my favorite.
Yeah. But nowadays, Vessel's like the minority too. Like, I feel like as more and more fans,
it's hard to tell.
It is. It is.
I mean, it's to be quite honest with you, if somebody told me that any of their albums, any of those albums were their favorite,
yep,
I have a hard time arguing.
Me too.
Because they all bring something to the table that's unique.
But to me, besides Regional Best,
I mean, yeah, but
I can't really see someone saying that. It's got some great songs on it, but
no, I don't, because it's like if Regional Best is your favorite,
then Vessel should be
your favorite. But I love some of the songs of Regional Best that we'll talk about, but I love them individually. I don't love them. I love these songs individually, but I love them so much collectively too. It's I love an album that feels like it starts a thought and finishes it. It's like a complete thought.
What do they call that?
You get a beginning, a middle, and an end. I'm not sure that there's a specific name for
concept album. I think that's what it's called, right?
Could be. Like
Neutral Milk or something, where it's like listen to it all the way through.
I think that albums can have concept album is an album whose tracks hold a larger purpose or meaning collectively than they do individually.
Yeah.
I think that, I mean, those are my favorite albums that like, and I think 21 Pilots is great at like, I think they're some of the best at making like a concept album.
Yeah.
Where it's hard for me to listen to one track and have it not have it flow into the next one on the track list.
Me too. Yeah. It is so lucky that like not only is he a phenomenal musician and, you know, vocalist, he a lyricist too, you know?
Yeah.
It's like there are a ton of great singers, right? And vocalists on Broadway and everything, but like combining that with the songwriting that he has, it's just
I think he has the it factor as far as like it's not only what he says but how he says it.
Yeah.
He does both so well. Where like his ability to create that imagery, tell a story, but also sing it really well. And I've heard people who don't like his voice, and
they're just wrong. But
it blows my mind. But it's a matter of taste.
Yeah.
Like he might sound whiny, or again, obviously I do not.
But he sounds so different in every song. 21 Pilots, I feel like, is one of the most like fluid bands where all their songs sound so different, especially. Maybe not this album because they're all piano based mainly, but especially on the other albums, I feel like
I'd say their albums sound different. I think like I feel like their songs on each album kind of fit each other. They don't sound the same, but they're of the same. I don't know how you would describe it. Like they flow really well together. They kind of have a similar meaning or a similar like tone, whether that's the way he's singing it or whether that's how the instrumentals sound. But like when you look at like Vessel to Blurry Face is like to me two completely different albums. And then Trench went like a grungy kind of like darker tone.
Yeah.
Where it's like they were heavy on like that bass, like deeper guitar. And then Scaled and Icy was like this happy-go-lucky kind of like the more
summer album.
Porky Beat summer album is the perfect way to describe it. And I think Clancy kind of went back more towards like that Trench feeling.
Yeah.
I love how much they evolve yet stay true to like what makes them unique.
Yeah.
I think that speaks volumes about the way that he writes the song, the way that they do everything, to be honest with you. I have really no complaints on how they do everything. Like their album releases are always smooth. They drop the right singles. Their tours are always incredible.
I think they didn't drop any singles until Trench? No,
they dropped singles.
I don't think they had any until Scaled and Icy. I think that was the first album they had that had actual singles on it.
No, Trench had singles. Like, they released, oh my God. Jumpsuit.
Oh.
My Blood came out before the album.
Oh, you're right.
I don't think Neon Gravestone did. Nico and the Niners.
Yeah, that definitely did.
I thought Blurryface, Stressed Out come out before the album?
I don't think so. Stressed Out didn't get big until I think the album released in March and it didn't get big until like 6 months later.
I don't. It's hard for me because
hard.
I became a fan when Blurryface dropped. You sent me Stressed Out.
Yeah.
And I remember my first thought was they're kind of like gimmicky.
Yeah.
I don't want to like kind of like AJR. Like they're very gimmicky. A little more alternative than AJR.
Yeah.
And I've told you I have my criticisms on AJR.
Yeah, me too.
But
a lot of people say that they're similar in the subreddit and stuff.
Yeah, I think. I mean, in my opinion, there's a way more like lyrical
substance.
Depth.
Yeah,
substance and lyrics.
AJR is a TikTok band in my head, and I saw them live. I have their vinyl upstairs. I like them, but to me, they're just like.
They're gimmicky, in my opinion. Every song has like a gimmick. And
have you heard Thirsty Thursday? Tell me.
Do I want to hear Thirsty Thursday? I don't know if I...
Wait, you haven't?
Mm-mm.
It has like a yodeling.
Oh, God. I mean, they had the first like gimmick song with the SpongeBob. Yeah. which I loved, by the way. I'm not hating on it.
Yeah.
I still enjoy it when I hear it come on, but sometimes that can get old. It can get stale. And so that was kind of my first impression of 21 Pilots. And then I heard Tear in My Heart, and I was like, okay, no, this is...
Yeah.
Not only is this a hit, but it's good. And it's different. Didn't sound like anything.
I love Tear in My Heart. Well, okay.
We'll
get there when we get there.
We're getting ahead of ourselves.
Overall, A-tier album.
A-tier album.
Yeah.
Did I open you up at all to this album?
Oh, yeah.
Like, have you... Okay.
100%. It grew on me so much over the past week.
I don't want to say that was my goal, but it was definitely my hope.
Yeah.
That you would open yourself up a little more.
No, it definitely did.
And not that you did, I felt that you disrespected it or whatever, but...
No, I just never really gave it a fair shot because it's not on Spotify. No, it is now.
It is now. It wasn't for a while. I had,
like
I said, I had it on Apple Music.
Yeah.
Kind of unknowingly, but no, I feel it's overlooked because it's not him and Josh.
Yeah.
I feel like that is the biggest, handicap to the album is that it's not him and Josh, so it doesn't feel authentic 21 Pilots.
Yeah.
Especially when they don't truly acknowledge it. He said in the live stream that he recognizes Vessel as their first release.
Yeah.
Their first record is the way he put it. And it breaks my heart, man, because this is 21 Pilots to me.
Yeah.
It's the same. It might be two different people than not Josh, but I think it's just 21 Pilots. It's just as much 21 Pilots as it is their other ones. So
I think so too.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this album.
Me too.
So yeah, thanks for listening. That was 21 Pilots self-titled. We realized after recording that one of our mics was a little faulty, so apologies for the sketchy audio. We'll be sure to get that straightened out for the next time.
Yeah, thank you guys for sticking around. This was our first time recording a podcast, and we're really excited for you guys to hear it. Be sure to check out our socials in the description, and we'll see you in the next one.